was sacked 6 times and hit 10 times in a loss to the New Orleans Saints. The Bears' offensive line seemed to have been left behind in Chicago prior to the team traveling to New Orleans at What's New. This has been well over a year. It's well-documented offensive line. It's one of the worst I've ever seen. Yeah. On the other hand, former Purdue quarterback Drew Brees beat the Bears for the first time in his career. I think he was 0-3 coming in that game. Yeah. So, Steve, which was more impressive, the blitz packages of the Saints defense or Drew Brees picking apart the Tampa 2 defense of the Chicago Bears?
That's a good question. I think it's Drew Brees picking apart that Tampa 2. I still don't like that Bears Tampa 2. You know, it just creates a lot of space, I think, in the middle. And, you know, teams just seem to pick apart. Good quarterbacks seem to pick apart the Bears defense. Yeah. I mean, look last year in the NFC Championship game against the Packers. Aaron Rodgers just put on a passing clinic.
Yeah. But if you think about that game, they only gave up 14 points. I mean, that last touchdown was that big fat Raji guy getting that interception for a touchdown. I mean, here's what I'll say about the Tampa 2 defense. It has its good days and it has its bad days, but you're never really concerned with giving up big games. When I look at this Bears defense now, I mean, they play the Tampa 2 in Indianapolis with Tony Dungy, but that defense wasn't good, so it didn't matter what defense they played. Their defense was never superb. Bears defense has been good for well over, quite a few years.
Right.
You never really have to worry about a humongo game. Like if the Packers scored no more than 21 points last year against the Bears, and like I said, that was they held the Packers to what was it? I think it was only 10 points in that Week 17 game where the Bears lost 10-3, and then in the first game, I think the Bears won. Like 21-17.
Yeah, you're correct.
I mean, for shutting down Aaron, they shut down Aaron. The only quarterback that really torched the Bears last year was Peyton Manning, Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah.
So I think the Tampa 2, and like we saw last week against Matt Ryan, one of the best quarterbacks in the league, it's just you can't get the deep balls on a Tampa 2.
Right.
I mean, you'll give up those 5-10 yards, but the Bears have always played that bend don't break defense.
And what did the Bears do? They gave up that 77-yard
run,
touchdown pass.
That was terrible.
Yeah, that was just. I mean,
that was the turning point of the game.
The Tampa 2 defense is meant for plays like that. To withhold those plays from ever happening.
Yeah. The problem is all it takes is one guy to slip and
one player just a mental error.
Yeah, that was terrible. I mean, he broke by both the safeties. You can't let that happen.
Right. And just by the numbers, Drew Brees, he completed 26 of 37 passes for 270 yards, 3 touchdown passes, at 118.1 QB rating.
Yeah.
I mean, he played well against the Packers in Week 1. I mean,
he's just one of the best quarterbacks there is.
And that goes to my next point. Brendan Mayweather, the Bears' new safety, tweeted today that, the Bears have played the 3 of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL.
Absolutely.
They're going to be, including next week.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan, Week 1.
Very good.
Very good.
I mean,
Drew Brees, definitely top 5.
Definitely top. And then Aaron Rodgers, top 3, at least, if not top 2.
Yeah.
He's right behind Tom Brady. I think Tom Brady's the best right now. He's looking ridiculously insane.
Right.
And I just think, going back to the question, I mean, the Bears getting rocked on the offensive line is not impressive anymore. It's just routine.
It's routine.
I mean, it's game after game. I don't know. I've never seen a worse offensive line in the pros. Never.
If you go back in the past, this game kind of reminded you of the New York Giants game last year.
Yeah.
Where he got sacked. Yeah. Jay Cutler got sacked 9 times.
Yeah. I mean, go ahead. I think we're going to say something.
I was just going to say, the weeks after that, Mike Martz, again, will do what he did in Week 1. Add blockers for Jay Cutler. He did that this year.
That's why they traded Olsen.
That's why they traded Olsen.
To get a blocking tight end, because he can't do anything on the blocking.
Right. And I think you're going to see more of that next week. And you got to run the ball.
You do.
For this Bears defense.
Yeah.
The Bears ran the ball 12 times.
Jay Cutler threw it 42 times? 45 times? Yeah. Oh, my God. But, it's like, just sending your quarterback out there to get rocked every play. Like we said, most of those sacks or most of those hits, I mean, he couldn't even plant his feet. On the drop back, he was getting sacked. There were literally guys just not getting blocked. And, I mean, even on 3-step drops, he couldn't plant his feet and throw. He just had to either get sacked or hurry the pass out of there.
Right. I mean, there were times where Jay Cutler, like you said, backpedaling, just took the snap. All of a sudden, he's under pressure.
Literally, there's a guy in his face. Well, I mean, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
Not even Tom Brady could do anything. I don't care what people. Not even the best quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, anybody.
That's why I was kind of hesitant when Mike Martz came in to Chicago.
Yeah.
His offense takes a while. His plays take a while to form.
And it's a pass-happy offense.
Mike Martz likes to have his receivers run long routes.
Yeah. Well, then Jerry Angelo should have gotten some linemen to accompany this, you know. I'm not a fan of our GM, just letting you know. I'm not a fan of Angelo.
That's when we always talk about Bears.
Yeah, but he's not. He's terrible general manager.
You got to make some game time changes and just, you know, go with short passes.
Yeah. I mean, that is on Martz.
They're coming with 6-7 guys.
Yeah.
Someone's open.
Yeah.
I mean, they're passing a lot to Matt Forte.
Yeah.
When he comes out of the backfield.
And that's pretty much all they're doing. Short passes to Forte.
In the second half.
Yeah. I don't know. The Green Bay's defense hasn't been all that stellar so far. So hopefully, you know, but they've got some great pass rushers. It makes me nervous, especially with Karimi being out.
It's going to be a good game.
I don't know. Yeah,
4:15 here in West Lafayette time.
Yeah. So it'll be a fun game to watch. Bears Packers is always fun to watch.
Oh yeah, great tradition.
Yeah.
With one Peyton, that is Peyton Manning out. Another Peyton Hillis, overpowered the Colts defense for 2 touchdown runs Sunday, leading the Browns to a 27-19 victory over the reeling Indianapolis Colts. For the Colts, it doesn't get much worse than this. They already lost Manning for at least 2 months because of a neck surgery, and are now 0-2 for the first time since 1998, Manning's rookie season. Mike, what should the Colts do to stop this bleeding?
You know, there's really, I mean, there's some stuff you can do. I think at a certain point in time, you have to really think about getting rid of Kerry Collins. I mean, let's be honest, the guy either doesn't know the offense or just can't play anymore. I don't know.
He says this offense is none of what he's played with.
Well, they need, you know what, if he's not ready, if he just can't play, because it's horrendous. They need to just they need to get him out and put Curtis Painter in. I don't care what they think, if they think a veteran quarterback needs to. No. I mean, he's fumbling the ball more than he's throwing the ball. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I've been watching the Colts games. My roommate's a Colts fan, and I watch the games with him, so we switch between Colts and Bears. And it's just not fun to watch. I mean, it just looks like it's an offense in peril because Collins either, he's missing receivers or he's getting turnovers, and you can't win when your offense can't go anywhere, especially when we know this Colts defense is not a great defense. They need to rely on some form of offense, and they're not running the ball enough with Joseph Adai. I think they need to give him the ball more. He's only had 22 carries, basically averaging 11 per game. He's averaging 4.7 yards a carry. He's running the ball.
Yeah.
Give him the ball more. You know what I'm saying?
It's kind of like Purdue.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it does come to a point where if your defense can't keep you in the games, you have to start passing. Right. But I just think
it was a close game against Cleveland.
It was until Cleveland started getting some points at the end.
Peyton Hillis had a 47-yard run to get him inside the Indianapolis Colts 10-yard line, and then scored a touchdown, put away the game.
Yeah,
I just think, like I said last week, they just have to run the ball. I mean, last week they ran the ball 11 times.
Yeah.
This week they ran it a lot more. They doubled it. They ran 26 times.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do when you have a
quarterback.
Struggling as much as Kerry Collins has with this offense.
Yeah.
And you know what? Maybe you give Curtis Painter a try. He showed some sign of light in the preseason.
At some point you have to. I mean, it gets to a point where, I would think you realize that. Of course, I don't know how much coaching Jim Caldwell does. I'm not a fan of him personally, just because I don't ever see him doing anything.
Right.
I mean, if you ever watch the Colts games, he never even opens his mouth.
Right.
Every time they show him on the sideline, he's literally just sitting there looking.
Well, he's like Lovie Smith too.
Yeah.
With that pitiful face, like, look, I don't know what to do.
Yeah. I mean, it's I don't know if it's the way Tony Dungy coaches are, but I mean, at least Lovie has done something routinely. I think Jim Caldwell's a product of Peyton Manning when they went to the Super Bowl and whatnot. But
yeah, you know what? They have a tough game against Pittsburgh at home. It is at home.
And that's on national TV too. They have to make a stance.
I think you can make a big statement here if your team comes out ready to play.
Just play with Pittsburgh. Not saying you have to win.
Yeah, quarterback. I think you got to give Curtis Painter a try.
You really do.
You've tried the Kerry Collins,
and it's looked next to awful. It made Rex Grossman of the past look good.
Yeah,
it hasn't even been fun to watch.
Yeah.
After destroying last year's AFC champion, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Baltimore Ravens fell to a frustrated and determined Tennessee Titans 26-13. The mighty Baltimore defense gave up 432 total yards. They made Titans quarterback Matt Hasselbeck look like Tom Brady, and Hasselbeck threw for 358 yards, 1 touchdown. So, Steve, what happened in Baltimore? Is it just a lapse of, I don't know, being too confident?
I think so.
Probably.
Yeah. You just beat probably the AFC champion favorite, one of the favorites.
You whooped them 35-7. I mean, you literally took them to shame.
Had 7 guts, made their offense turn the ball over 7 times.
Yeah.
I think they just came out
thinking they were going to do that again.
Thinking they're,
hey,
we just beat Pittsburgh. Everyone's saying they're the number 1 defense. They got Big Ben at quarterback. I just think they just came out on a high.
Yeah.
They just came out flat. I mean, their rushing defense, they held Chris Johnson, Titans star running back, to only 53 yards rushing.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said in the opening, Matt Hasselbeck, he looked like Tom Brady. I saw highlights of that. I mean, he was just, I don't know if the secondary was just not doing their job. A lot of mental errors.
Yeah.
The receivers just seemed wide open.
Yeah.
It's like you're lost for words.
Yeah,
and the Baltimore Ravens defense, they're top 5.
They're amazing. NFL. Yeah. It is kind of like, whoa, what happened here? But, this is kind of what I was going back to talking about Purdue against Notre Dame in 2 weeks. You can't ride off the high and assume you're going to be amazing because you were last game. It's a whole new game. Every game's a different game.
Right.
It doesn't matter what you did. You could get blown out 100-0.
Right.
And that has nothing to do with the next game. It shouldn't. In the media it will because they'll, they always look, preview and rewind. But the guys in the locker room, the players on the field, what happened last week or what's happening in 2, it doesn't matter.
Right.
It's the game now, and I think that, like you said, Baltimore just got too much into, now we're the best team in the AFC. Look how good we are.
Right.
And then they just came out and flopped.
Right.
Tennessee had a chip on their shoulder to win, and Baltimore just thought that they could cruise into Tennessee and do their business like they did the week before. It didn't happen.
The Kansas City Chiefs, last year's AFC West champion, are off to an 0-2 start. The Chiefs are in more trouble now in that running back Jamal Charles will likely miss the rest of the 2011 season after an initial diagnosis revealed a torn ACL in his left knee following the Chiefs' 48-3 loss Sunday. Mike, do the Chiefs find a way to turn this season around?
Yeah, no.
Especially after the news of...
No, yeah, he's their best player, and, I think I had them winning this division. Not going to happen, especially not now. They have looked god-awful. They got rocked week 1. They seriously look like a team that just can't play. I don't know what's going on. I really don't. There's no... I don't know how you go from winning a division to looking like this the very year, the very year after. But they just look, gosh, they've given up over 80. They've only scored 10 points all season. They've given up over 80. So it's a 70-point split in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's not even fun to talk about. I don't know what Kansas City, I'm sure Kansas City fans are irate, but
yeah.
It just looks terrible.
I don't read Kansas City newspapers.
No.
It would probably be interesting to read them right about now.
I've never experienced this as a sports fan. This is...
I wonder if
bad.
I wonder if the back page of the sports or the front page of the sports had like a mob coming with pitchforks, torches.
Yeah.
It's just not looking good for Kansas City, who played pretty well last year with a San Diego team that could have easily won the conference. But to beat Phillip Rivers and that San Diego Chargers defense last year,
that was large.
That was bigger deal. And like we said, I think I had San Diego winning this year. I know you had Kansas City winning again this year.
I really liked them.
No one expected this 0-2 start, and especially the way
it's happened. Yeah, they don't even look like they're competing.